Hello lovely people, this is Rant and welcome back to a quick video about Minecraft Snapshots.
It's totally not a quick video, it's a long rant about stuff. Don't expect a proper update video here.
Today we are going to be just looking at the web pages for the last week and this week of Snapshots. So last week was 19W13A and B, and I'm just quickly going to look at a few things that they changed in 19W13B. So they changed the villager trading UI. They also changed that if you now ring a bell, then the mobs that are part of a raid will actually get the glowing effect for some time, so you can see where they are, which in my opinion is quite helpful. And they fixed quite a few bugs. And in the A snapshot, they put the accessibility button on the title screen and tweaked raids. As they say. So what was this weight tweak about? Well, it was that now the waves of weights, the amount of those is basically dictated by the difficulty you play on. So for easy, there are 3 waves if you have the just one level of bad omen. If you have more than one level of bad omen, there or someone comes into the village with an extra level of bad omen while the raid is going on, you will get a 4th wave. So basically, if you like kill a patrol captain or like someone while a raid is going on, there will be another wave. The same applies to normal, where normally there are 5 waves, but there can be 6, and for hard there are 7 waves, but there can be 8. Now, the thing that I want to criticize about that is that so far the amount of waves were bound to the bad omen level, and so the whole feature of having the raids and the bad omen and having different levels of bad omen was kind of complete in itself, and it didn't need any other game mechanic to work, which I think was really good. Now they actually bound it to the difficulty that you are playing on, which might be because, well, if you actually play on easy and get a level 8 weight, then that might not be considered that easy any longer. But that now means that the game's difficulty has a say in basically only really one feature. Because yes, the difficulty does say how much damage certain mobs do, and such things, but generally it's more in the background. It's not really a foreground feature that you really actively play with. And with this change, that raids now have a set amount of waves depending on the difficulty, you basically start playing with the difficulty. And yeah, I just don't see this personally as a good change, because I always play on hard, but I think the charm of the raid system was that you could have just a like level 1 bad omen and get 2 or 3 waves or something, and not a huge amount. And now you basically more get punished for playing on hard difficulty than just having it as hard as can be in terms of how hard a mob hits, but just still get to choose how many levels of, so like how many waves of raids you you wanted, because they have made the raids to be a player triggered event only so far. So why take away the possibility from the player to also choose how to trigger the raid, if you want evokers and 8 waves or not? That's kind of weird. And yeah, this is a change that might be slightly questionable, where they detached this thing from the in-game bad omen effect and changed it more to the slowly breaking the fourth wall difficulty level, which really hasn't that much been a part of the game ever. So I don't know why they now need to really push this in as, hey, this is also a game feature. Because yeah, I don't like I don't necessarily need 7 waves of a raid, but I also don't want to have to switch my world to easy every time I want to trigger a raid where I don't need 7 waves and an hour of my time. Because honestly, till you have defeated those like raids, it it's medium to hard to already defeat the raids as soon as the Ravager comes, which I think now comes at like wave 2 or 3. And yeah, so why have this? I don't get it. I don't think it's a good thing, but whatever. So this is what they introduced last week. Also, they introduced the Hero of the Village effect. That is, if you make it through all the waves of a raid, then you get this effect, and the villagers will give you gifts. So basically, for example, I think the Mason gives you clay, which has so become a renewable resource, which you on the other hand can also buy from the Mason. But obviously, when you have the Hero of the Village effect, they are just going to throw it at you. So there is a potential for kind of making a farm out of this. But obviously, because they are connected to the difficulty the world is like set in, you might have to defeat up to 8 waves of those pillages be, before you get this effect for about 2 in-game days. So sure, it's like one of those every 2 in-game days, and you can have a nice um, renewable source of like weapons, food, and whatnot, because the villagers will just throw that at you. But yeah, as I said, I think both of these things should be linked to the bad omen level, because the hero of the village, I think, is somewhat linked to which level you had of bad omen, so it will be the same level. But does this really affect a lot, except for the discounts that you get? So yeah, Bad Omen goes up to 5, and the Hero of the Village then also goes up to 5, which I think means like the price drops by at least 5, possibly a bit more for for every villager. But otherwise, yeah, that's kind of not really con- connected otherwise, because they just throw you things randomly anyway, so that's not any um any more ex- extreme if you have a higher level, as far as I know. Yeah, then the thing with the bell, that on the one hand the villagers run to a nearby house to hide inside of it, but also the raid members get the glowing effect, so you see where they are. And then they changed this one, that Illager can open doors, and Vindicators can either open them or chop them down. And well, in the in this week's snapshot, they removed this feature. Now, I played in the last snapshot and triggered a raid, and also tried to defeat the whole thing. And what was quite interesting was that, for example, the villagers would like run into the houses. Then the pillagers would go after them, mostly the Vindicators, and open the door, at which point the villager would run out of the house, and the Vindicator would start chasing the villager for some time, till apparently the AI told him, hey, check another house. And the villager got away because the Vindicator just constantly checked houses. Um, this is also a feature that they introduced in the last snapshot, and yeah, it doesn't really work. It's really weird, and even though the Vindicators run really fast, the villagers apparently run faster. Yeah, so that is still pretty much just a complete chaos if you trigger a raid in a village. Also, what I noticed was like really the Vindicators go after the villagers. The pillagers just kind of go after the player, but not really. They try. The the Ravager goes after the Iron Golem usually, and the Evokers just summon Vexes and those fangs everywhere, and it's pretty much complete mayhem. So I don't know about this thing as a game feature. I don't think I will ever trigger a raid in my survival worlds because there doesn't seem to be too much use to it because yeah, if you play on hard, you will get a lot of vindicators, so you can get quite a few emeralds from them and from the pillagers, and from the evoker you can get the totals of undying, where I think per raid you can get 4 to 5 totals of undying, so that's quite good. But who needs that? Honestly, like whenever I get a totem of undying, I don't really need it unless I get it just before 8 Vindicators jump onto me, in which case I use it. There's really, for me, there hasn't been any in between state where I was just holding a Totem of Undying just because I either don't need it at all or it instantly gets used as soon as I acquire it. So, yeah. And otherwise, as I said, at this point in time, the raids are just a big mess. So, if they don't get changed in any way or form until the full release, I can't see myself playing with this feature, especially because it's bound to the difficulty, which I think it shouldn't be. But anyway, also otherwise not really useful. So they added that pillagers can open doors, and then they removed that pillagers can open doors. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's now the second time that they changed back a thing they had already changed, like with the glass, where I think it's totally logical that you suffocate in it. They also changed that back. So apparently they make a decision that they think is great in the 1 week, and then I don't know. Either they get hit by a lot of criticism or just personal regret and change it back. At this rate, we will get 1.14 pre-release -1 at some point. So yeah, don't really know about that. Otherwise, so the rebalancing, yeah, I don't know if I would call that balance, cause like by by wave 7 or 8, um, yeah, it's pretty much just an indistinct chaos. I don't know if I would call this balanced in any way. Yeah. Yeah. Evokers in waves 5 to 7. So basically, if you get 8 waves, also in wave 5 to 8, and so you can get 4 evokers, but I think there can be multiple in one wave. I had 2 consecutive waves where an evoker was riding the Ravager, which, yeah, total chaos. Because the Ravager goes after the Iron Golem, the evoker goes after everything, basically. So that's just total mayhem and not really for me enjoyably playable. It's another one of these chores that you feel you have when it happens. So yeah, can't see myself playing with this feature if it stays like it is. Um, yeah, door to door, which obviously now that they can't open doors doesn't make much sense. I guess the Vindicators can still chop them down, but otherwise, yeah, that doesn't make much sense now. And the villagers now sweat all the time, but you can still trade with them even while the wait is going on. There, some people also said that possibly the weaponsmith should give you something cheaper because you can help them, right? So maybe an axe with smite or something could be on sale then. That would be a good idea. That would make it at least somewhat useful, because at this point in time, why would you trade with like any of them if you wouldn't even have the emeralds to pay them when you just trigger a raid? Doesn't make much sense. So maybe they could add some raid specific trades that would make a bit more sense then. And yeah, otherwise in this and all, in this one and in this week's snapshot, a lot of bug fixes that I don't think I will go over really like all of them. So like for one thing that um is not changed is that soul sand can now send a redstone signal through. So apparently until now, soul sand being like not a full block didn't output a redstone signal when basically being powered by a redstone piece, and now this will work. So that's one of the things that were considered a bug. Yeah, otherwise a lot of other bugs are fixed. So let's hope that the game runs a bit smoother. I haven't even looked at this snapshot in game yet. I just wanted to make this little like rambling video about those features in the last 2 weeks and this back and forth. If they can now open doors and kind of targeting the AI in the way that they go from door to door, and now saying they can no longer open doors. Well, what was the point of then going door to door? Yeah, and obviously the difficulty, which will possibly stay my pet peeve for the rest of my life now if they don't change this, because no, the difficulty is as such not a game feature. You shouldn't be binding anything other than certain not really noticeable damage values or buffs to a difficulty. Please keep the rates as they used to be, possibly. Might still tweet them about the input for rates, so I guess I have to tweet them that critique. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching to this little update rant. I'm also gonna call it that because it really wasn't any proper update video. I had nothing planned. I just went in here and let my mustard out. Thanks for watching and mostly listening. Bye bye.